call the meeting order with pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Smarter.
Here.
Mazer.
Here.
Riley.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Sofa.
Here.
Stoops.
Here.
Wilson.
Here. All right, we're going to start off with non-agenda items from the sidelines. We have State Representative Jeff Jarrett here. Jeff, you would.
So again, thank you for just give me a few moments, Mayor, and the rest of the honorable council members. As I said, I try to get around about once a year, so around all the communities in my district, make sure I'm available. If we start my final year, I don't know what happened to 5 years, and then starting my last term, it goes pretty quick. I've been happy to serve this district and Memphis. And so just a few things, just to again touch base. Continually, fighting for local government. Myself and the Mayor Pro Tem often discussed how small communities kind of get missed in a lot of things, a lot of the programs. So I've been really fighting for that. There's a law enforcement recruitment and support supplemental that's in the Senate. I pushed to make sure that small communities made sure that there was funding for the fire service, and particularly small communities got included in that. Congratulations, Chief, on your promotion.
Thank you.
It's a challenge being the chief, I'm sure. So I'm hoping to have conversations with you about recruitment, retention, what else we could do. That's been a major priority of mine. One of the few things that I'm happy to accomplish this year is my stockpile bill passed and was signed by our governor to create a 2-month stockpile of PPE. If you remember, in March of 2020, one of the issues that emergency responders and healthcare workers had was that we ran out of personal protective equipment, and I think that was one thing that created a lot of anxiety if nurses were asked to keep reusing masks, and fire and EMS personnel didn't have that equipment because we just couldn't get it. So we are now, the state's going to establish, by my bill, a 2-month stockpile to fill that gap between the time healthcare, emergency responders, healthcare providers run out of PPE, and our federal supplies and the national manufacturers can kick up their supply. I will say that there's a piece in there that we prefer Michigan vendors and veterans, because we want to make sure try to again bring production back to our country as opposed to relying to other countries for a lot of these supplies, which was one of the problems. As far as firefighters, I'm saying we just passed cancer presumption to include previously cancer protections for firefighters. Initially covered full-time firefighters. As of January 1st, it's going to include volunteer, part-time, paid on call. Firefighters included, we added 3 cancers for, they included the female cancers. So as you have a volunteer fire department, I think it's important to note that and a lot of my district has volunteer and paid on call. That I'm very proud that my bill passed and has been signed by our governor to make sure that we protect those firefighters that are volunteer and paid on call. So that they do a great service for us. We need to make sure we take care of them, especially with cancer being such a high risk for firefighters. I myself have gotten prostate cancer for being a firefighter. I'm very fortunate that had a very positive outcome with my treatment, but I very much feel it was my exposure as a firefighter. So just making sure I'm making my, being available to the council and residents. If anybody has any questions, I'm gonna stay after the meeting. So if people have things they want to discuss, I'm here. So again, thank you for letting me serve you for 5 years and one last year.
How much money's out there for roads for rural areas, or water and sewer?
So we have we have Act 51, which is always there. We get sort of a short end of the deal, being Southeast Michigan. We're a donor, particularly Macomb County, which is treated differently than the St. Clair County portion of Memphis, but the Macomb County, we are a donor to the rest of the state. So although the Macomb County,
I see where the money goes, but it doesn't come to these little rural towns.
So 8.7, Macomb County has 8.7% of the population. We get 7% of the money, which you think, what's 1.7? But when you add it up, it's about $20+ million, for example, that Macomb County doesn't get that goes elsewhere. So that's something that I really try to continue to fight in Lansing to try to bring that money back in
That'd be a
various
great
ways.
thing. Roads are falling apart. Especially in towns this size, we're just, you know, the population and such, a tax base and that, we're, you know, we need an extra couple thousand people, for example.
Yeah, so, so directing my comments, through the
and
chair.
The county normally ends up with the bulk of the money out of one funding that we apply for all the time. You know, but I just thought it was.
No, I appreciate that, there's a lot of infrastructure money coming from the federal government. I'll say it's important that I think people need to remember, one of the things that has been brought up is why isn't the legislature pushing that money out faster that's coming from the federal government? Frankly, the reality is that when you're, basically the federal government doesn't really have that money. That's actually borrowed. Unlike villages and cities and townships in the state of Michigan, we have to have a balanced budget. We can't spend more than we bring in, unlike the federal government. So that's all borrowed money. And so therefore, since I don't think that, since my daughter, my 6 and 7-year-old are probably gonna be the ones paying this back because this is such a huge loan, we are being very diligent in how this money is spent. And, and so, and again, one of the pieces that I've been want to make sure is that, Macomb County gets its portion of those projects. And again, we're being very diligent because we understand that once this money's spent, there's not going to be another chance to borrow another $1 trillion. We can't just keep. At some point, the value of the dollar is not going to be, worth anything if we just continue to spend it. And that's just the reality. We can't keep. It's all borrowed money. So the legislature is being very diligent about how this money is spent and encouraging these long-term projects that are not just expanding. We don't want to expand the size of government. We want to pay for long-term infrastructure projects, road projects. We have a mental health issue obviously in the state. Previous to COVID, even more so from this COVID period, we want to make sure that money, some long-term issues are addressed with this money. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and that I'll be available for any questions after the meeting.
All right.
Sorry to make that long. My goal is 3 minutes.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, John.
All right. Up next, city administration. We'll start with Bart. What have you got?
A whole list, but I forgot the list, so I'm okay, yeah.
Chief?
I have nothing.
No? Judy?
I do. So Parks and Rec is going to hold another all-day play. We did this in November and it was really fun. Everyone enjoyed it. So we're going to do it January 17th. It's a Monday from 9 a.m. to 6. And there'll be cards. You can play whatever kind of cards. Mahjong, bring your scrapbook stuff. It's at the Lions Hall. It's $5 and Parks and Rec will do hot dogs and chili. If you want to bring a salad or a dessert, then you're welcome to do that.
What date and time?
That is Monday, January 17th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. You could just come and visit if you wanted.
17.
Thanks, Judy. And now, our new chief. Congratulations.
Thank you. My items later on your agenda.
Okay, very good. Adoption or amendment of the agenda.
If there's no amendments, I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Support?
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. Approval of the regular meeting minutes from December 7th of 2021. If we don't have any changes, I'd take a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, presentation approval of the December disbursements report of $111,000, $533.15, and electric wire transfers of $16,892.38. Can I get a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Schneider.
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Stutes.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Riley.
Yes. Okay, next up, unfinished business. The Boardman Road Engineering. We've got on our list here to take a look at the proposed contract for BMJ Engineering. And this is on the cost and the reconstruction of Boardman Road from Full Street to Main Street, which is scheduled for to start in 2023. Larry, do you want to take this?
Yes, I can. We had, Bart and I had a conversation with Phil from BMJ on this project, and since we haven't discussed it for quite a while, I did make a spreadsheet that outlines the cost. The grant was 405,600, and it was 80% of the project, and the Memphis portion was 20%, which is a total of 507,000. And the engineering, most of the engineering is done in this project, but there's final to put the big package together, and a few things that still NDOT requires that has to be done. So the design portion to complete the project is $14,000. Construction engineering is quoted at $74,000, total of $88,000. So the total project is $595,000. The Memphis portion of that is with the grant and the engineering, and we have and I think I attached it in there as a $5,000 we got, will go towards engineering. So and total cost ends up with Memphis is $184,400. And I did make a little asterisk there. That assumes that the bids comes in within the projected cost. Our fund balance as of June 30th, 2021 audit was a total of $419,555. Now, I know we don't have a contract now with BMJ. They did ask if they wanted to send it to us, and Bart and I discussed that and thought that the consensus of council was that they probably would not okay it because it was turned down last year. So we recommended that you just not do it. Now, the other thing is with that, without a contract, of course, it could be put out for bid, but we're not recommending that at this time because they've done most of the engineering already on this project, and so we're recommending that we do approve it as is. Now, saying that, if the next project I think is scheduled, and I didn't look at it before I came here, but I think it's about 4 years, 3 or 4 years from 2022. Isn't that correct, Barb, in that area? It's about a 4 years.
Right.
So I think we have plenty of time on that. If we don't have a contract with BMJ and we want to bid it out, we can do it at that time. But I certainly don't recommend doing it with this project that's coming up.
Right, because BMJ's already been involved with it. They've done a lot of the
And most of the
engineering
engineering is already done on it as well. So and I think Bart concurs with that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So is there any questions on this now?
The estimated cost,
Pardon?
the estimated cost for the whole project,
Yes.
when was that done?
That was probably done probably about 3 years ago. However, it's my understanding that he put in an inflationary cost in that. But of course, that
doesn't account for today's inflation rate either.
Well, and it may not, the cost of oil, the cost of asphalt, I understand is without significant. But we do want to get it all, the project all completed and okayed by MDOT. We're shooting for August, and so we can have it, the whole thing prepared bid late, probably late this year, so that we'll get in.
Yes, and the state actually bids that out.
NDOT's actually the one that
Yeah.
bids it out. But, so that's kind of how the schedule will go on this. So can I make a recommendation then?
Sure.
Okay. I make a recommendation that we approve the engineering cost of a total, with the design at 14,000, construction engineering 74,000, total of 88,000 to BMJ.
Support.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Snyder.
Yes.
Next up, approval of Memphis Fire Department officers. Chief, Brad?
Before you, you have my recommendations. I think there are a couple of you that weren't here when I made one change. Tim Gascoigne, his position should be captain, not sergeant, as I had written down. Happy this year to actually have people that stepped forward and want to be officers, so putting them in place. There's 2 of us that have been officers, 4 brand new ones. Those positions are for the next 2 years. Hoping for your approval tonight. Any questions?
I make a motion to approve these officer nominations.
Support.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Good. Doug, thanks for stepping forward, and all these other guys that are stepping forward to fill a position.
You're welcome.
All right, next, police invoice from Rogers Automotive Service. Chief, you want to give us a little lowdown on that?
Yeah, we need a new car. I just have an 8-year-old police vehicle with a lot of miles and a lot of hours on it, and things are starting to go wrong. Needed repairs more than I expected, but I need a second vehicle. I can't be without one, so we had to go ahead and get it done.
This is at the 2014 Charger, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. It just broke in.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, can I get a motion to pay the invoice?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Next up, DPW invoice from AIS. Bart, you want to give us a little
Who
background on
said
that?
that? Oh. Yeah, I just, I was having an overheating problem with the backhoe. And also it was time to change the fluids and all that. So they resolved the issue. I normally utilize, what's it called, Southeastern case dealer. They're down in Novi. AIS is just down the road.
Yep.
And they were a little bit cheaper, being so much closer, so.
Okay, so just some much needed TLC for,
Yeah. Well, I've got roughly, what is it, $1,400 on that machine after 8 years, so.
okay. Can I get a motion to pay the bill to AIS for $1,791.22?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the invoice from AIS of the August 17.
Support.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
All right, for me, I don't really have a whole lot. Hoping that this year we move forward and keep everything rolling the way it should be. And Happy New Year, everybody. Eric?
I have nothing, sir.
I got 2 things here. The grant from $6,300 that we discussed the last meeting, We allocated some to Boardman Road and some to the library and some to the signage that was going to go on Main Street. However, Dave Rushing wouldn't approve that, and for Boardman Road and wouldn't approve the signage. So I think we surveyed enough council members, and it'll all go to the library, the $6,300.
Okay.
Okay.
Good deal.
All right, and the other thing is the water tower. That's going to be, as you know, we bid that out in the fall, and the prices came in extremely high, and so we stated then we put it out for bid in January. We don't have the dates yet. I don't think you have them yet, do you, Bart? You don't have the dates.
Water tower.
Yeah, the water tower. Where the bids go.
Wait,
No, definitely not.
But I know you didn't have it a couple days ago when I talked.
Yeah, no, they
Okay,
never
so
did
that
contact
would
me.
probably go out in January, and.
Did you report at the last meeting, it was like a $200,
And there would be a $200,
Rebuild fee.
yeah, back last year.
would have been
Said-
$700, but we don't need engineers here to open
No, it'll be
envelopes. so-
$200 cost, and I think that we stated that last year. And so it'll go out in January, and probably maybe even the bid packages will be open in January, I'm not sure. If not, it'll be the 1st of February.
Yeah.
And, let's see, I think, the one other thing, on this parking that you give to the DPW
Yep.
committee. Okay, I did write up a memo for you and the committees, and I'd like to set up a meeting, and we could do it right after we close as well, but I'd like to set up a meeting where we can discuss it, okay?
Right.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Riley?
Nothing, sure.
I'm good, thank you.
Got any other stuff?
Motion to adjourn.